So, a fresh new week has arrived, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend, I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, Media Day went down to kick off the new season, training camp has gotten underway so all of the teams are now together gearing up, and even a few preseason games have happened, so we definitely have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Reagan, and he says that James Harden is going to hurt his new team more than he will help if he ends up getting traded. The James Harden saga at this point in time is honestly reaching strange territory. The reasoning is because we really don't have any clue what the plan is. All summer long, James Harden made it clear he was unhappy with how he was being treated by the front office, so he requested a trade and did everything he could to force his way out. At the heart of all of this tension is the fact that the Sixers did not offer Harden a max contract extension, and Harden believes he was owed one, so now the trust is gone. Reports all summer were saying that Harden would skip training camp, that he would come in ready to cause as many distractions as possible to ruin the vibes in the locker room and basically force the team to get rid of him. So the fact that he actually has reported to training camp and seems to be happily participating is throwing everybody off right now. I think the obvious explanation is that Harden has finally accepted that going the extreme route would only end up backfiring on him because there's a clause in the new CBA that says a team can prevent a player from signing elsewhere as a free agent if they refuse to participate for over 30 days. Plus, if he were to show up to camp out of shape, then that would only harm his own ability to produce in the long run. So now that he is doing the right things, it does seem more likely that a trade could come on the horizon, but as this take states, we need to look at what benefit a team trading for him would get. The Clippers are in the driver's seat to land him in a trade, so if he does go there, then there's a lot to be excited about, obviously, but of course there are some red flags to watch for too. The Clippers have desperately needed a playmaking guard to run the show during the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George era there, and Harden just led the league in assists last season and has elite court vision, so that's an obvious fit. The issue with this though are that the Clippers also have Russell Westbrook still under contract, and a Harden and Westbrook backcourt pairing in 2023 is not a recipe for success. Plus, one of the reasons why Harden wants out in the first place, according to several reports, is that he wants to take back control of a team's offense. If he doesn't feel like he can do that alongside the MVP of the league, Joel Embiid, then does he really think his usage is going to go up playing alongside another high-usage guard like Russell Westbrook, plus Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who would probably still be the first and second options on offense? Obviously, on paper, the talent would be scary, but there are a lot of optics that they would need to work out if it were to happen. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Braxton, and he says that the narrative of Luka Doncic winning the MVP is starting to get annoying because it's the same story every year where he's the favorite pick in the preseason and then he's not even in the running by the end of the year. So, I don't think anyone would deny the fact that Luka Doncic is one of the best players in the entire NBA right now, and it would actually be a shock if he finished his career without ever winning the MVP award. He's an all-time great in the making, and his time will absolutely come eventually. As this take states though, he is absolutely right about those expectations being pretty premature, because in each of the last few years, Luka Doncic did enter the year as one of the betting favorites to win the MVP award, and one of the most popular picks by fans and analysts for it in October of those years, but he also hasn't even been a finalist for the award yet. I don't know if annoying would be the word that I would use to describe the situation, but I do think people need to pump the brakes a little bit because we can't keep doing this every year. Looking at how things are going into the new season, the MVP race should still have quite a few familiar faces vying for it, so Luka would have to do something really special to pass them. The Nuggets are the defending champions looking to go back-to-back, and nothing indicates that Nikola Jokic is going to slow down anytime soon. Joel Embiid's 76ers team may still have a lot of question marks, but his individual production will still likely be as good as ever as the two-time scoring champion. Giannis Antetokounmpo might have the balance of winning and production that MVP voters love after the Bucks just traded for Damian Lillard, and then obviously Luka is in that next tier of MVP candidates alongside guys like Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant amongst others, who have been in the running before, and barring health can still get to that level. If we were absolutely positive that the Mavericks were a contender in the Western Conference, then I would be fully on board with a Luka Doncic MVP campaign loading this year, but after missing the playoffs last year, that just is not the case. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Adam, and he says that there are too many teams going all in on a championship right now, and that it's going to backfire so badly that the league will be upside down in a few years. So right now, the NBA is actually in a place where there's more parity than we've seen in a very long time. For a lot of the 2010s, the league was in a place where there was really only one or two teams sitting above the rest, and then a few others challenging them for a title. Early, it was the LeBron-era Miami Heat, where they went to 4 straight finals, battling the Thunder, Spurs, and Mavericks. Then after that came the years where the Cavaliers and the Warriors met in the finals 4 seasons in a row. Since then, though, the league has really opened up with a different winner of the finals 5 years in a row now. Because of this, there are also way more teams that could legitimately qualify as contenders, that are operating full-on with the goal of winning a championship, which I believe is great for the fans. But the reality of this situation is that only one team can win it all each year. With so many organizations putting all of their chips on the table for the next 2 years, there are definitely going to be quite a few groups that flame out with nothing to show for it when their window closes. That's what I believe Adam meant in this take when he said that the league will be upside down soon, which he seems to frame in a negative light, but after everything I've just gone over, I actually view it as a positive. With all of the teams going hard to win a title now, there are just as many teams that have been rebuilding and developing their group for the future who I think are going to be ready to take some leaps forward in the near future. If those teams can come in and take the place of some of the current contenders, then the league is in very good hands, and from my point of view, more parity is a good thing, not a bad thing. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes we discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.